Welcome back, dear friends of the truth, to part 5 on the open letter to the governing body. So far we have seen that the biblical public position on vaccination is neutral, that the private biblical position on vaccination is determined by individual conscience, and that the governing body has begun to deviate from this position. Today we see how the governing body deals with those who do not want to go along with this deviation. Let's go straight to update 7, where Brother Lush says,
In our last governing body update, Brother Hurd mentioned that about 50% of the worldwide Bethel family have been vaccinated so far. Initially, it seemed impossible to obtain vaccines in some countries of the world, but it's been amazing to see that now more than 80% of our worldwide Bethel family, that is more than 19,000 Bethelites, are vaccinated, and we are doing what we can to assist the branch offices that have not been able to obtain vaccines. As you know, by keeping the Bethel family safe, we protect the flow of spiritual food and support spiritual activities worldwide.
Brother Lush mentions here that they are actively endeavoring to vaccinate their brothers and that vaccination ensures safety. It is obvious that this attitude is far from Christian neutrality. After all, they should also be concerned about other medications for the brethren, which, unlike this vaccination, are effective and safe because they have been tried and tested for decades. Have you done that? No. Neutral means neither one nor the other, that is, not promoting any form of treatment, but encouraging everyone to make their own decision. Dear brothers of the governing body, many brothers have drawn your attention to this imbalance and justified it biblically. Surely you listen to the advice of these faithful brothers, don't you? Unfortunately, no, on the contrary.
What could pose a danger to our unity? What if we became too emotionally involved in issues that are divisive?
What topics does he mean? He mentions mask wearing and other measures, but the most controversial topic was, of course, vaccination, even within the congregations of Jehovah's Witnesses. A controversial topic does not have to jeopardize unity, because unity is not uniformity of thought. Biblical unity is unity in diversity, is mutual loving respect for different points of view and conscience. See our video number 3. A controversial issue only jeopardizes unity when one person or group abandons Christian neutrality and wants to impose their personal point of view on another, or even wants to silence others.
As Christians, we are no part of the world. We stay out of those debates.
What is Brother Lush trying to say? Let's do the reverse again. Christians are not part of the world. Stay out of this debate. All those who want to discuss the subject of vaccination and treatment methods are part of the world. Are they not Christians? Listen carefully to how Brother Lush brands these brothers and sisters.
The Bible foretold at 2 Timothy chapter 3 that men would be lovers of themselves, not open to any agreement, and fierce. We see this in the world today. People are not open to any agreement. they quickly become fierce, taking strong positions on all types of issues. As Christians, we are no part of the world. We stay out of those debates.
This is an attack on the dignity of those who wish to discuss medical treatment on a personal level, which is a fundamental right, especially for Christians who have a Berean attitude. A little later, he continues his covert attack.
We have to be careful. All of us are exposed to worldly thinking on television, on the internet, at work, or at school. There are many websites that promote conspiracy theories.
The seventh branding stamp for our brothers and sisters. Then the update takes an outrageous turn.
We could allow ourselves to be guided by the voice of strangers instead of listening to Jehovah's channel, the faithful and discreet slave.
He said this in the context of vaccination. What does this mean? If we don't adopt the opinion of the governing body, we are listening to the voice of strangers? Thus, the governing body has definitely turned its back on Christian neutrality. What does the Bible text about the voice of strangers really say? Jesus spoke here about himself. When the shepherd has brought all his own out, he goes ahead of them, and the sheep follow him, because they know his voice. They will by no means follow a stranger, but will flee from him, because they do not know the voice of strangers, according John 10, verses 4 and 5. We are sheep of Jesus, not of the governing body. He is our good shepherd. We recognize his loving voice, not that one of the governing body. He is the door. No one can get past him. Then Jesus pointed out that there are also people who want to come in his place. All those who have come in place of me are thieves and plunderers, but the sheep have not listened to them. I am the door. Whoever enters through me will be saved, and that one will go in and out and find pasturage. The thief does not come unless it is to steal and slay and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it in abundance. John 10, verses 8 to 10. Jesus then mentioned hired men who also do a bit of herding, but don't have any real bond or love for the sheep. We will see later who this description really applies to, in every respect. It should be noted that Brother Lösch misapplies the biblical quotation. It is neither the slave nor Jehovah to whom this Bible text applies, but Jesus is our good, trusted shepherd whom we should follow. Everything and anyone else is the voice of strangers. Brother Lösch continues his deviating train of thought and calls on us to trust the governing body as Jehovah's channel of communication. He praises the brothers and sisters.
As soon as you discern that Jehovah's Spirit is directing the governing body to go in a certain way, you are quick to follow.
Wait a minute. God's Spirit leads the governing body? In the February 2017 Watchtower, the governing body wrote about themselves, the governing body is not inspired, that is, breathed into, by God. In other words, God's Spirit doesn't breathe anything into the governing body, but God's Spirit breathes directions into them? Next comes a hair-raising interpretation of the Bible. It is about the healing of the Syrian Naaman in 2 Kings 5, verses 11 to 14. Brother Lösch tries to draw a parallel between Naaman's pride and the attitude of the friends who reject vaccination for reasons of conscience.
Like Naaman, we might struggle a bit at times, especially if we have our own strong viewpoint.
Oops, do you realize how much this comparison lacks? Firstly, this is not about pride or humility, but about responsibly weighing up different medical treatments, and this can also include a respectful exchange in Christian maturity. Everyone should be convinced in their own heart. Whatever you believe about these things, keep between yourself and God. Blessed is the person who doesn't feel guilty for what they do. But whoever has doubts is condemned if he eats or takes the vaccine, because the eating or vaccination is not from faith. For whatever does not proceed from faith is sin. Romans 14, verses 22 to 23. Secondly, did Naaman have alternative treatments? No. He was healed by a miracle of God, not by healing water. Does the vaccination heal? Is it a miracle of God? Thirdly, Elisha was God's appointed prophet. He was inspired, authorized to perform miracles. God spoke to him and made him see visions. In which of these points can even one single brother of the governing body equate himself with Elisha? We see Elisha's example is being twisted to gain acceptance of the vaccine. This is an anti-biblical attitude that cannot be justified by anything. The author of the open letter writes, "When I saw the update, I could not believe it. If I were an old Israelite, I would have torn my clothes, covered myself with sackcloth, and thrown ashes on my head." In medical decisions, a Christian cannot decide for others. This had been stated in the Watchtower for decades. Dear brothers of the governing body, can you revise this position? Sure. You would only have to prove from the Bible that you have misapplied every single Bible text quoted in the Watchtower. Do you want to do that? What does this update do to the conscience and feelings of the sisters and brothers? By covertly changing the doctrine of Christian neutrality, you are trying to band your brothers and sisters on a matter of conscience, and that is a clear sin. You despise the conscience of your brothers and sisters. Furthermore, you imply that those who do not follow your advice are acting against unity and against Jehovah. In doing so, what you are teaching here about medical treatment creates division, and division is a work of the flesh. It is contrary to the Spirit of God, according to Galatians 5, verse 20. You are trying to impose your personal ideas worldwide. You don't want to become like Diotrephes, do you? This dominant brother from early Christian times lacked respect, damaged the reputation of some brothers who did not follow his personal views, and even wanted to throw them out of the congregation. We will see. Part 6 of this video series has the theme, "The governing body manipulates with sketchy information."